Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar Rally around the West Indies. I can soothe you all with my rendition of Rally around the West Indies, but the truth is that West Indies cricket have suffered a disaster, a memorable loss that is going to be remembered for ages. At Sabina Park, Jamaica, the lightning has truly struck, and West Indies were bowled out for 27. And I want to thank Justin Greaves for that double digit score in that score of 27 that West Indies somehow has managed, luckily, somehow has managed to avoid the unwanted record of the lowest score in a test innings, which is still thankfully held by New Zealand, which they got in 1930s, almost 100 years back. I mean, it would have been, the longest for a record or something if West Indies had broken that record. But thankfully, West Indies survived and they got to the score of 27. But we are going to talk about Darren Sammy. We're going to talk about the Kishore Shallow, the president of West Indies cricket. Now, Kishore Shallow has said that the people need to rally around the West Indies. They need to stand together in these tough moments. Of course, we as West Indian fans, we would like to stand with you, but there has to be something done with the power that you have just given to Darren Sammy Kishore Shallow. And now you've brought Brian Lara, you've brought Viv Richards, you've brought in Clive Lloyd, obviously, and all are saying the same thing that you need batters. Clive Lloyd just said it. You need batters who put a price on their wicket. He gave example of a West Indian great and said that we need batters like that who can bat for long hours. But clearly there is no one right now in this West Indies lineup who can actually hang on. I saw some potential in Roston Chase, the captain, a little bit from Justin Greaves, but apart from that, yeah, Brandon King also did himself a good job. He averaged 21 in this series, which is the highest. You won't believe, guys, that Shamar Joseph is the top five in the fourth place of the top five West Indian scorers in this series. It's really unfortunate. And I was just listening to Carl Hooper, who stays in Australia, lives in Australia, and he just said that West Indies were building up to a good side. They just won in Brisbane in Gabba with a pink ball, and things have come full circle now that they've lost to the pink ball test in Jamaica. And he was saying that West Indies were building up to a good side. They had beaten Australia in Australia. They had beaten Pakistan in Pakistan, but unfortunately, Andre Cooley, the coach, who was sacked, and then comes Darren Sammy, who's been given the coach's power, the selector's power, and he's calling all the shots. And the problem with Darren Sammy is he's a brilliant white ball coach, no doubt, but we have some doubts on his red ball coaching ability or managing of a red ball team. Like he even said a statement that I wish there was a double hat trick now, and making really ludicrous statements. But Darren Sammy, what have you done with Kavem Hodge? What have you done with Alec Athens? What have you done with Kevin Sinclair? I have a straight question with you. What have you done with Gutekesh Moti? What have you done with Amir Jangu? Where are these guys who were pivotal in your epic away series wins? Kavem Hodge is averaging 28 in Australia. 28 in Australia. The highest average of this series by any West Indian at home was 21.5 by Brandon King. Kavem Hodge was averaging 28 in Australia. He was averaging 36 in England. And you said we don't want to glorify batters who have an average of 25. Wow. You had Alec Athens averaging 23 in England, playing decently, not at Kavem Hodge's level, but he was doing well also. But you decided to discard him also. Kevin Sinclair also making some important contributions with the ball and the field and the bat was totally discarded. Gutekesh Moti helped you to win the series in Pakistan. He was definitely not considered to be an all-rounder or a bowler in this lineup. And of course, you had to pick Jomel Warrican in this pink ball test, which was wow, which was like crazy, man. Why did you have to do that? Where was Jomel Vorikon in Granada Test match where there was something in there for the spinners? You didn't pick Jomel Vorikon there. You suddenly picked Jomel Vorikon at a place where Australia are dropping their all-time great spinner Nathan Lyon to play Scott Boland, who just went on to take a hat trick. So didn't understand this test match at all from the West Indies perspective, but you got to bring your A class batters, test batters who can stay around on the pitch. What was Mikhail Lewis doing? The same Mikhail Lewis who showed great grit and courage in England, facing the new ball of Mark Wood and Chris Wokes. What happened to that Mikhail Lewis who had to play such a horrific and ugly looking shot to get out and induce and collapse? You see, even in this test match, like the bowling from West Indies has been so good. I mean, both the Josephs have been doing so well, and I think Shamar Joseph is also pushing Alzari Joseph to bowl well. Alzari Joseph is bowling much fuller than he has ever bowled in his career, and West Indies were all guns firing. Even Justin Greaves has done his part as an all-rounder, and they were all guns firing. They've taken Australian wickets, and at some point in each of these tests, if you see, the scores have been equal. Like even in this test, in the first innings, Australia was something like 90 for 3 and West Indies were something like 80 for 3. But then comes a moment of horror for West Indies, like the shot played by Mikhail Lewis, a wild slog out of nowhere, and he gets out. And then it's a procession, and you get 143 all out. Obviously, you could have done much more there. Not even talking about the second innings. Then, of course, Jaden Seals had to needle push the needle into Mitchell Stark. I don't know why do you sledge when you're 0-2 down in the series, and what is to be achieved. Uh, Definitely Mitchell Stark came all cylinders firing, and he even sent a message to Jaden Seals when he got him out for the score of 27. And what a performance from Mitchell Stark. Scotty Boland taking a hat trick, the first ever hat trick in last 15 years by an Australian. Uh, there were 4 hat tricks between 1989 to 2000 and picked by Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath, Damon Fleming. But there had been a drought after Peter Siddle picked a hat trick in 2010. And Scott Boland, the unluckiest player ever for Australia, actually got lucky. And I think, see, ping ball was always going to be tough. And there's no hiding from the fact that ping ball does a lot. The lacquer comes off really fast. It does crazy things like India realized in Adelaide when they played the ping ball test match 5 years back in Adelaide. They lost 9 wickets for 36. They were 36 for 9. And since then, this is the lowest score that we have come. And the only coincidence is, there are 2 coincidences. One, there is an Australian bowling attack. And the second one, it's a ping ball test match. So, of course, with ping ball, you're always going to struggle. But guys, remember, it was a ping ball test match where Shamar Joseph made a mark for himself and, ran through that Australian lineup with a broken toe. So this was an opportunity for the West Indies. Actually, they also made Australia bat first, but I have to take my cap off to Cameron Green. Thought, see, this is what happens when you show some continuity in your selections, which West Indies have not done. I mean, Kevin Hodge had a brilliant WTC. He should have been backed, no doubt about it. Some other players needed to be backed, but you didn't back them. And now see what Australia is doing. Even with Manas Labuschagne losing the form, they backed him for a long time. Now they're backing Sam Quanstas, who is failing again and again. Cameron Green, who was one of the reasons for the WTC final loss at Lords to South Africa. He was so poor in that test. He has been backed at the number 3 positions, and he delivered big time in this test. Even with his 30s and 40s, I thought it totally made the difference in this very, very low scoring test. I think he got 40 in each innings, which was very, very crucial and totally the point of difference. Um, Thankfully, West Indies this time curtailed the Australian lower order, getting Carey and Webster early. But I wanted to see some more fight from West India's middle order. Unfortunately, they've left it all up to the bowlers, Shamar and Alzari, to show any kind of fight. I mean, Shamar Joseph is number 4 in the batting stats, and Alzari Joseph is number 7 in the batting stats. That should not happen. The ball is moving, the bowlers are world class, but you need to show some application, especially what Mikhail Lewis did, or some of the other shots, especially John Campbell. He's a senior pro. I'm going to definitely target him. Like, he gets set. He was even given the liberty to choose his own position. So was Mikhail Lewis, who was originally an opener in England. Uh, but what about John Campbell, who has been moved and given the liberty to bat at number four and still gets a start, doesn't convert it? I'm okay with batters getting out first ball, but those who are at least getting a start, they need to convert those starts. You can't be leaving it halfway and letting your team down there. So, very unfortunate series, and I know it's a tough moment for West Indies cricket, but I like the attitude of the West Indies cricket board. They have roped in the legends like Brian Lara, Viv Richards, and Clive Lloyd, and especially Sir Clive Lloyd. I think he was the one who was the architect of the great generation of West Indies cricket. I think they definitely need some words from him and also some inputs into the selection, because as Carl Hooper said that Darren Sammy can't be the be all and end all of all selection matters and all coaching matters.